Hello everyone and welcome back to GamerPod episode 4. Today we'll be showcasing some footage that I did for Watchdogs, a new game that was recently released, I think like a week or two ago. It took a while to actually get everything set up with all the issues that's been going on with it. I'm joined here with Tex as usual.
Hey.
Hello. So one of the first few things that I want to just get right into is that Ubisoft, a week before its official release, decided to crank up the prices for the actual game. It was on Steam originally for $59.99 or something, $59.95, and then it jumped up to what is currently, according to Steam, $74.95. And this doesn't just apply to the standard edition, it also applies to the deluxe and the season pass. All of them have had some sort of price rise in some way or form.
And not
the worst part is that they try to justify the cost by saying, oh well, Ubisoft Australia and New Zealand, they basically have to buy the products at euro-based prices, and so essentially, from what I read, it's essentially them saying, oh well, because we have to buy at euro-based prices, we're just going to pass on the additional cost to the consumer. So people have to just basically pay more so that they don't lose any profit, I guess, in terms of buying the things from European based prices or whatever.
Well,
Yeah.
that's just not fair because, I mean, if you think about it, some people, they don't make much money themselves, and they have to do a lot of saving to get the things that they like. I mean, if you look at in America, people who are waiters and waitresses, some of them can be paid about $2 an hour. Then there's other people who might be doing summer jobs, for example, that earn even less for tasks. And so they may be saving up over a number of months to get the thing. They might be saving up to get the game as a birthday present for their brother or something, or getting it for themselves, just to name a few examples. But then when they do a tax hike, a price hike like this, and so sudden without like forewarning, it really stiffs quite a number of people, because I mean, not everyone is so fortunate to be able to whip out the money instantly to get whatever they want, and so then they're just sitting there with some of the money that they saved, and then they're being told that they need to save up more or get more money because, you know, Ubisoft couldn't go to the extra step to, I don't know, get a futurist to check out what price they needed because they're looking at trends and so on. I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, I just looked at this comment on the article that I read from, and basically, the message that I got from what they wrote was that if the game developers keep, you know, yelling out about, oh, there's so much piracy and stuff, but with things like this, you gotta wonder, is this could be the reason why people have to, you know, kind of result to that, because if you raise the prices unfairly, what do you think people are gonna do? They can't buy the game legit.
And we spoke about piracy and demos last episode, I believe, and we were saying that because of the lack of demos, people need to try and demo the product in another manner, and so they're going to be resorting to piracy or sharing the game with their friends and so on. So I mean, if you're increasing the price, people will want to know why it's justified that they're raising the price, and then they're going to want to try and save themselves money if it's a crappy game anyway. And from all the crap we've been hearing about how unoptimized it is, well then of course there's going to be an increase in piracy because, you know, a crappy game doesn't warrant a high price. So I mean, like, it's not a crappy game. I've seen it. I think I'd want a copy, but I'm gonna hold out for a while, maybe until the prices go down. But I mean, if a game's unoptimized and then you got issues on launch and so on, then of course piracy is going to save people some money, because then they're going to realize that, oh, I can't play this game, or this game doesn't suit what I want, so, you know, I'm not interested.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be like a vicious, endless cycle of basically that's not going to get anywhere because developers keep complaining about people pirating their games, but they continue to raise the
Raise
prices
prices.
and stuff. And then the consumers, they can't buy the games because of the outrageous prices, so they result to potentially pirating.
Mm.
I'm not saying people will, but I'm saying some will because they obviously can't afford it or, something like that. Not condoning it, but it is a fact that people do pirate, um, usually without malicious intent.
Mm.
Uh, Unfortunately, there are those bad eggs that do.
Yep.
Yeah, but as you pointed out, the game Watchdogs itself, it is a bit unoptimized when it was first released. I mean, it even got a bloody day one kind of update,
Mm.
where basically Nvidia and AMD they've put out new drivers for
Yep.
their respective cards, and basically those update drivers specifically deal with the numerous issues that Watch Dogs has had in I don't know how many days since it's been released. I know for a
Mm.
fact that people have been getting blue screens trying to run the game,
Yep.
get all sorts of artifacts. People also just like it's not really an issue, but people have been complaining also about just how the game can't run consistently on high-end PC systems. I mean, people with bloody dual Titans running an SLI, so basically two 6 gigabyte powerhouse cards, really expensive pieces of hardware. They can't even get a consistent 60 FPS throughout the
Mm.
entire game. Now that really says something about a game if you can't do that when normally you can pull off a consistent 60 FPS, a 1080p in most other games. So the game itself is not really that optimized.
No,
It's still a piece of work in progress, I
and it's
guess.
just another reason why people will want to get I guess, a trial copy of the product in a way, because, I mean, people, some people are impatient. People like to save up their money, and when they've earned enough money for what it is, they want to have it in their hands, and they want to be able to use the product straight off the bat. I mean, they, with good faith, they spent the time to save the money for it. So to think that there's launch issues, and then, as you said, blue screens of death, and then on top of that, how badly optimized the game is. I mean, it's a problem with the hype of the game, because Ubisoft, they promise so much, but they still suffer from the same fatal flaws every time. And I mean, I'm with the people who are outraged by the price rising, because I mean, if your game is so terribly optimized that people with two GTX Titans are not able to get a consistent and really, really good frame rate, well then I can understand why people are freaking out about all this.
Hmm. And I mean, the fact that the fact that people have to go into the game's configuration files, like actually delve into the actual, game directory and modify files, or even bloody, I know one fix was to actually also add parameters to run the game. I think it was something like dash disable page file check or something, just to remove the page filing option or something that the
Yeah.
game does to increase its performance or fluidity. Um, so the fact that people have to go to such lengths to make the game run at a
Like it
decent
should.
level, like it should have, and it still doesn't. It's a real disappointment. Um, Now I'm not saying that the game itself is like bad. From what I've played so far, which isn't very much, I can already say that I'm going to enjoy the game. But it is just a letdown that
Mm.
you have, I guess, what could have been a great game let down by such a poor release, I guess. It's,
Well,
yeah.
they're they're lucky. They're lucky that it hasn't blown up in their face with these issues, because it obviously shows that the department that takes care of the hardware compatibilities and ensures that it can run on the architectures and platforms that the game's running on, haven't done a very good job. I mean, I myself bought a copy of what's called Prototype 2, and that's almost completely a console port. The problem is it was terrible. It was a terrible port because of performance and optimization. I don't know if Ubisoft made Prototype 2. They may have actually. Oh, no, it's Activision, I believe. But the fact of the matter is, you load the game up, 5 minutes you can play smoothly, and then it starts to degrade, and it gets to the point where the game will freeze for spaces of 10 to 30 seconds. And I got a gaming PC. My PC is not crappy in the slightest, and I can play that at the highest graphics, but it just froze. So I had to download like some special AMD-made registry alteration application that would go in behind the thing and alter some like page flip size or something like that. And reduce or disable the number so it actually run, but even then the performance was still bad. So, yeah, obviously it's just showing how the dev teams and stuff aren't really in tune, because yes, next gen consoles, and we were discussing this earlier, that there's a smaller scope of hardware and architectures and platforms to program the game for, so it's easier to mitigate and get rid of all the issues. But with PC, there's so many variations, but they should have put the extra effort in, because if they're going to hike up the cost of the game for us, then don't cheat us by giving us a game that either doesn't run at all or is terribly optimized, so you can take one step and you're on the other side of the city because of the lag.
Well, the thing is that also the game developers, they specifically said, like, oh, we're gonna make this game, on the PC. We'll develop it on the PC for the PC, basically, but not exclusively. But we're just saying, like, this is going to be a mainly kind of like a PC title, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, PC, right?
Because normally you have games that develop exclusively for consoles and stuff like that. This one, it's not PC exclusive, but
they went to the effort to make it PC.
The idea is that they're saying this is going to be heavily made with PCs in mind, and then this comes out. When it comes out, it really doesn't kind of show what they said that it would. Like,
doesn't live up to the hype.
It doesn't live up to the hype. And really, if this was developed for the PC, then why is there still so many issues? I think that they really haven't actually done much extra in terms of satisfying their PC consumer base, and in fact I think they still actually put in more effort into the consoles versions than anything else, because I think that's where they make the majority of their sales. I think there's this big kind of like a negative relationship between consumers and game developers, because like PC users and the game developers, because of the whole piracy issue. They still firmly believe that basically everyone on the PC pirates their games.
Yeah.
And as I said before, with sort of unreasonable price rises and God knows whatever else, poor game support, bad ports, and basically just a few other issues or whatever they may be. Those are also legitimate reasons for why people, don't like buying their games on the PC, because they obviously aren't showing the support for that platform.
Yeah. Well, it's bullshit that everyone pirates on PC. I mean, of course, it's common sense that it wouldn't be like that, but game developers, they should be wary of the potential that their product can be pirated. But that shouldn't be like the overriding notion for their production. I mean, new laws have been passed in Australia now that I think have already been implemented. But if you're torrenting, there's now a new 3-step system that will have you kicked off of the service permanently. This is just from what I read the other day, but you can get kicked off after 2 warnings, and on the third one, if you're caught, you'll be kicked off and you'll lose your internet. But there were statistics on there that was saying that that such a little proportion of the people who use the internet, I think in Australia, don't actually do it. I think it's like I don't know. It was a few million, but the fact of the matter is, because apparently piracy here is pretty rife, but not everyone does it, and most people don't know how to pirate, or they're the people who will figure out torrenting. Oh yes, I can get the free product, but then they get caught by the anti-piracy agencies because they didn't know that it also would keep seeding and releasing the stuff. So people with goodwill want to buy a product that's good. So to think that everyone's malicious and wishes to just steal your content is bad, because I mean, if someone pirates the content and they like it, they may buy it, and then they may go to their friend, oh hey, yeah, I got Watchdogs, I pirated, but you know, it was so bloody good that I actually bought that, and you know what, you should buy it too, because I don't know if it's multiplayer in it or something, but yeah.
It does have multiplayer.
Okay, well, get a copy so we can bloody play. I want to run you down with my car. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I think it just comes back to, like, if there was a demo copy, piracy wouldn't be as huge of an issue. But I don't think demos will completely eradicate the whole issue. I think it's just more a matter of availability and reasonable pricing. That's the major solutions. They need to work on that, because I know, like, I'm pretty sure the statistics that they report about Australians being one of the biggest pirates in the world.
One of the biggest pirates in the world, but
I just have to wonder how much of it. What was the actual survey? You know, like the bloody sample size. Sample size. Like how many people did you actually survey? How long did it go for? And just how many of those people were actually, Australian or something? Like I know there's a bloody survey that was conducted a while ago. I think it was more of an international kind of worldwide thing to kind of judge the scope of how many people pirate from whatever countries, and obviously they came to the conclusion that Australia was one of the top ones. But the thing was out of the entire, I don't know how many tens of thousands of people they sampled, only bloody like 1,000 or something people were actually Australian, and then they said like, oh, they all, like, this many percentage of Australians in their 1,000 something sample size were pirating or something.
Well, that's like saying how Greenland are the biggest users of internet possible. I mean, I don't know the exact population number on there, but on Plague Inc. on my phone, there's about 50,000, so we're going to go on that. So apparently 50,000 people all use the internet. It's got to be in proportion to like a ratio or something, a scaled ratio to everywhere else. I mean, if you think about it, with a survey, when someone's asked, do you torrent or not, most people would say, no, I don't know what that is, because most people aren't really big users on the computer. When they do use it, they're going to go through legitimate streams because they don't know there's illegal streams to get their stuff. So if you get a survey like this and say, oh, we got a 20-second survey for you, would you like to answer a few questions about piracy? Oh yeah, I don't know what it is, I'm getting a coffee, goodbye. So they go away. And then so obviously the people who do answer are probably the ones that are going to say, oh yes, I'm a nerd or a geek, or I use my computer proficiently, or oh yes, I torrent. So it's going to be biased in a way. Then, and I'm not condoning this, but the only real way would be to have like a government rolled out plan to have all ISPs check the bandwidth usage of every user on the networks, and presume that everyone who's got a super high bandwidth is a pirater. But still, I don't condone that. I'm just saying it's as a method of figuring it out.
Yeah, it's not a good. It's not good.
No, it's not.
But yeah, back to Watch Dogs. One of the things that bugged me about when it was released was that a week before its official release, some stores in, I think it was somewhere in the US or something, they decided to, you know what, we're gonna release the game a week early before the actual official release date. I don't know if they did it intentionally or if it was by accident. I think I read it was by accident, but even so, the fact is that once it's out officially somewhere, even if it's a week early, other retail stores will kind of follow, because they don't want to lose their customers, they don't want to lose sales and stuff, so they have to kind of follow along, and otherwise, like I said, risk losing potential sales or whatever. So what happened was basically you got all these people playing this game when it officially hasn't been released, You got them putting up footage of the game on YouTube, streaming the footage on Twitch, and then you even got and then you got like Ubisoft, who doesn't do anything about it, as far as I can tell, aside from saying like, oh, those people that got the official copies,
Be good boys and girls.
Please don't spoil the game for everyone else. Which, I mean, yes, sure, that's I suppose that's all they can really do. But I think what they should do is also figure out which of those stores either accidentally or intentionally release the game a week early, and kind of, either get into some sort of discussion with them, have a talk, either prevent them from doing that again, or completely just stop providing them with retail copies or something, because that's a street date, and there's a reason why street dates are made, so that everyone gets the same thing at the same time or something like that. I mean, in that week that the game was released officially or unofficially, the game was at some point in time released on the internet. It got on torrents. So I don't know. That's the magic of the internet, I suppose. Well, not really magic. It's bad magic.
Black magic.
Black magic. But yeah, it's like people who don't even buy the game already had access to the game, and the people who bought it legitimately, like myself, I pre-ordered the game. I still had to wait for that extra week. So people were going like, who bought the official game were like, how come I have to wait an extra week to play the game, when people who either didn't, or people who did but were lucky to get the official one early, how come they get to play now and I don't? So that annoyed me a lot. But there was nothing really I could do. But yeah. Anyways, I think that's time. Thanks everyone for watching or listening. Please, like, favorite, and subscribe. Share this with your friends as usual, and we'll see you again in the next episode.
See you. Now, if he starts flying around or shitting their bags, his phone and tablet games, I feel like they're holding your experience for ransom, with the ability to buy the extra fruit bombs and the buy the 50 extra levels and expansion packs and stuff.